Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Joe, and welcome. I was thinking today, I want to have a quick little discussion, if you don't mind, about the new policy that Tesla has for their insurance, which I know doesn't affect us yet, but I would love for Tesla insurance to come here to the UK because, wow, I looked at some quotes yesterday, and some of they differ wildly,
Absolutely
very
ridiculous,
wildly.
to be honest.
It is crazy. So basically, this new policy that they've done is that they had it that you would have a lower safety score if you drive at night. That was the previous policy. So it was considered higher risk if you drive at night, which you can kind of understand. But now they've
Yeah.
kind of changed it that if you drive, the later you drive in night, the more it affects your score. Which means it would be almost pointless for me to get Tesla insurance because I almost always drive home between 3 and 4 a.m., which would put me probably in the worst category possible for what they define as dangerous. And yet I find that a lot less dangerous than driving, let's say, 8 a.m.
Well, I could
or
definitely see that the amount of cars on the road at 8 a.m. in the morning, well, between 6 and 9, shall we say, is absolutely ridiculous. And every stupid idiot that
it's
shouldn't have a driver's license is on the road at that moment in time. So why do you pay less for driving when every other idiot is on the road?
exactly. So that should reduce your safety score more than driving on a 4 lane motorway with almost nothing but HGVs. Every 2 or 3 minutes you pass HGV, and there's lights on the motorway. You can see what you're doing. They claim reduced visibility. Yeah, fine. When I get off the motorway the last 8 minutes towards my house, there's reduced visibility. But I got high beams, and I drive slower than the speed limit. I always drive 10 miles per hour less than the speed limit.
Yeah, I don't get why they do that, to be honest. It doesn't quite compute in my head.
Personally, I think that if that's still the case when they eventually come to the UK with insurance, that that would kind of, how would I say, disqualify me from getting Tesla insurance, even though it's generally cheaper. Because it's usually early hours of the morning that I come home. It's okay. This one's a particularly different one where I do it between 3 and 4. But usually I leave at 5 a.m. home by 6. Summertime, it's already bright as hell out there at that time.
Yeah, that's
Winter
true.
time, fair enough, is dark, but summertime is bright.
Yeah, well,
So
winter's always dark in the UK, unfortunately.
yeah, exactly. So please, Tesla, have a look at it. I don't think that's right. I think people driving during peak time should be penalized more than people driving at night.
I don't think anybody should be penalized. I think people
Not
who can't drive and have a history of causing accidents or being in accidents, they should pay more. But
well, that is part of their metric system that they
well,
use, but
that's
this
great.
is
But if
now
you've got, I don't know, let's say you've got 8 years that you've been driving, you've got no claims, no insurance claims, nothing like that. Why are you still being penalized because you drive at night? It
exactly.
does not make any sense whatsoever. That should come down to your driving history. That's
Yeah.
that's how much you pay for your insurance. That's how it works with any other insurance company.
Well,
Well, what you drive, where you live, that comes into play a hell of a lot, and then your driving
okay,
history.
but the difference now is that you've seen how expensive Tesla insurance can be compared to a normal car. Now, Tesla's done their own insurance and they do it just based off of your driving rather than the general average. And therefore, people can get a lot cheaper insurance
Yes.
because they base it on the speed that you drive, harsh acceleration, harsh braking, because they can measure all of that. It's basically like having a black box in your car.
Pretty much, yeah. But you can't
Okay,
get away from if you buy a Tesla.
exactly. So they base it off of that, which does, if you drive like a decent human being, and not like a complete moron, then yeah, your insurance is going to be less, a lot less compared to the other companies because the other companies go mostly based on amount of miles driven versus the amount of crashes per mile.
Yes.
That's why the Model Y insurance is cheaper than a Model S, for instance, or a Model Y is cheaper than Model 3, even though Model 3's been out for longer. But Model Y's already done more miles than Model 3. And that's how standard companies do, but Tesla does it based on you the way you drive. But this nighttime thing, I think, is going to penalize people who work at night.
No, I don't think the nighttime thing should be a thing.
I don't think so
Night,
either.
day,
The
sleet,
rest
snow,
of
it
it,
doesn't come down to it. It comes down to your driving ability.
yes,
That's
yes.
what
The
it should
rest
come
of it,
down
I
to.
completely agree, and I would wish all insurance companies would do it based on your driving ability. But yeah, the nighttime thing, I think that's absolute rubbish.
That's ridiculous. That would almost kind of put me off, to be honest. Not that it's going to bother me because I don't do that much night driving, but if I was in your shoes,
Yes,
I would be fairly ticked off.
yes, exactly. It is. It pretty much would mean that I'll probably end up paying more for Tesla insurance than what I could get somewhere else.
Yeah, more than likely.
Exactly. So, yeah, please Tesla, remove that one aspect of your Tesla insurance before you bring it to the UK.
That would be greatly appreciated. I'm buying
Yes.
one within the next year, so do it quickly.
Well, seeing as I might be buying a Model Y within the next 2 months,
They're going to have to
but
do
yeah,
it really quickly.
Tesla insurance is not available yet. Yeah, I mean they've not even finished covering all of the US with insurance, so yeah, it's probably gonna be probably I
Again,
would say 2 years or so until we start getting it here in Europe.
that's something I don't get. Surely that is another thing they need to be a lot more on, to be honest, and try and
Well,
get this turned around. Europe is one of their biggest markets.
not quite.
Why?
Third
The way
biggest.
things are going, give it another year or so, and the UK will be one of the biggest markets for Tesla. Not the UK, Europe, should I say?
Europe. I just want to say that is possible. It is very possible that we're gonna overtake the US
I would say so.
when you include UK into Europe. Yes.
Well, UK is part of Europe, even though we're not part of the EU. We're still in Europe, so
Exactly. All right. Shall we start with today's slideshow?
yeah, go on. Why not? Let's pick it
Okay.
apart, see what's happening.
All right, so we're talking about the electronic architecture, and there has been some very interesting videos as of late regarding this, regarding how the old designs were, where basically you got some sort of control module for a specific function in your vehicle, and you've purchased that control module from a third-party supplier. Now that control module runs pretty much the same archaic, ancient software as every other control module in your car, but it's basically like each one is its own little mini computer running a version of, let's call it Linux or some or Windows or Mac OS, whatever operating system you're used to, and then on top of that, it then runs your the actual code that it needs to run to control the things it needs to control.
Yeah.
Now the problem with that is that means every module that you have controlling every little thing, which some of cars can have over 200 of these modules, for your high-end cars. There's a lot of background processes running that is not needed. Using energy, using stuff that's not needed, because you could have one thing run the background software and then run the individual controls from one PC or one computer, which is basically what Tesla's heading towards.
Yes.
So there's the old style. As you can see, every little red box is a controller, and that's the Model S. There's a lot of them, a serious high amount of them.
Yeah, I would say there's too many of them, to be honest.
That's what's still in modern day cars. It's still like that.
Give it a little bit of time, it will change.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's archaic. And the problem that they have is that these things don't communicate well with each other. And you can't do software updates to it because they're locked in, because the third-party manufacturer doesn't want to allow you to change their code. And because of that, it makes it really hard for companies to do over-the-air updates because they can't access those units, not through their main controller or whatever they have as their main controller. So that's why other companies that needs to do software updates on people's vehicles, the people need to come in so they can plug in directly to that controller to do the update because they can't access it remotely, which is just really, we've had computer networks since what, in the 70s, 80s. It's
Yeah,
like
but that doesn't mean car manufacturers necessarily understand how it works or can make it work, to be honest.
it's mind-boggling.
Again, you're talking about an AI company building cars, not a car company doing AI.
Well, hardcore technology company. They don't do just AI.
Yes, I get it. I'm just
AI
trying to
is one of the
simplify it.
biggest things, yes. But yeah, look at that. This is look at all those controllers there. Every little black box that you see there is a controller. Some sort of microcontroller that does something. And it's got a little bit of software running on it doing something. Probably connected to a relay or a switch or something. It's just like that's a crap ton of wires. Pardon the language, but my gosh.
It's crazy, honestly.
So that now
Hey, look at that. Looks better.
that's a lot less red boxes. There's still too many in my opinion. But there's a lot less red boxes and a lot less of the big blue wires that does the harness,
Yeah,
the wire looms.
yes, your cable harness for your
Yeah,
system.
there's a lot less wires. So you're saving a lot of money. Absolute lots of money. Oh yeah, this is a good one. I think this is it was somewhere around here where they talked about. I don't know if we're gonna get into that later. I've forgotten. I need to go check it again. Um, where they talked about how Tesla is involved with first, second tier, all the way down to I think fifth or sixth tier suppliers, helping them design and ramp up. And it's like that is a serious deep level of control that they're able to achieve, like being able to know what's going wrong right away. And that was an absolute eye opener for me when they mentioned how deep how we say, their investment in their suppliers goes. Because it's Tesla employees that's getting paid by Tesla to go to their suppliers and help them sort out problems. That was just absolutely stunning for me how deep that goes, because I'm pretty sure most other manufacturers don't do that.
Why would they do that? That's just going to cost them extra money. But again, that's why Tesla is or can do what they can do. They
Yeah,
don't just get involved, they get their hands dirty.
yeah. So on this slide, they talk about the how many of the controllers that's in the vehicle is ones that they've designed and they built themselves. Or not built, but that's at least designed so they know it's their control, it's their software that can integrate with their system. I'm
Yes.
surprised that the Model S only had 20% of their own designs in there, which means a lot of the original Model S was off the shelf components, as in how they currently build other cars.
Yes, but it's been a steep learning curve. I mean, look at
It
that line.
is. I mean, if they've gone from the Model S to the Model X, gone to 40%, that is huge improvement.
Yeah, and then
And then,
doubled again between the X and the Y if we take the three out the equation.
yeah, if X and Y is doubled, not doubled, but gone up by another 20%, doubled
Okay,
from
yes.
there. But again, massive improvements. And the Cybertruck's going to be 85%. That's almost all Tesla controlled designs.
Pretty much. And then when we get to
So,
next gen, that's 100% full Tesla. Nobody else needs to be getting involved.
well, the other people will still be producing it, but Tesla has designed it
Yes,
for the other people to produce it.
which is the way to go. I mean, it's your
As,
car, it's your system. You should be designing your own.
exactly, which means there will not be
Yeah.
a single piece of controller in that vehicle that Tesla won't have access to at any given time. They can change whatever software they want whenever they want, and that's going to make that vehicle, as far as troubleshooting and all that kind of stuff going, that's going to make that vehicle amazing. Like basically, I think most manufacturers is vastly less than this 20%, and that's why VW can't figure out what the hell is wrong with my van.
Because it's not their own components.
They can't figure it out. They have no idea what's going on. It comes up with an error code, doesn't tell them anything.
That sort of thing happens all the time in other manufacturers, though.
It's ridiculous, and that's part of the reason why I'm selling it or have to sell it.
The amount of times that your car will tell you there's something wrong with your car, but there's actually nothing wrong. It's just a sensor that's playing up.
Exactly. Okay, now e-fuses. I have no idea what e-fuses are. I know what thermal fuses are, and I think they're awesome. I mean, these fuses are different. Are they thermal fuses? I don't think so. Thermal fuses I know always comes inside this little blue or red, like round insulated thing, and when they get hot, the heat pushes the things away from each other, and when they cool down again, they go back to their normal state. So
That
that's a
just looks
thermal
like a
fuse.
normal. That just looks like a normal fuse to me.
Yeah, I think those are burnout fuses, where once
Yeah.
it's gone, you need to replace it.
Yes.
Yeah, what the E fuse is, I have no idea how that would work.
An E fuse.
I would like to do some more research on E fuses, but yeah, so it still comes to a heck of a lot better. Fault reaction time seconds. That's probably if the fuse didn't die and the relay turned it off. But if the fuse died, then yeah, it's gone, isn't it? You're gonna have to replace the fuse. So then it doesn't become seconds. Then it becomes until you get the new fuse. Whereas the E fuse, if yeah, it can reset itself in milliseconds. So yeah, your car can fix itself basically.
Yeah, it's basically an e-fuse is an electronic component that is used to protect electric circuits from excessive current and prevent damage to the circuitry. It's designed to behave like a traditional fuse, but instead of a physical element that melts when it exceeds a certain level, the e-fuse contains a semiconductor device which can be programmed to trip the circuit when the current exceeds its threshold.
Fair enough.
E-fuses can be resettable or non-resettable depending on application requirements. They're only commonly used in a wide range of electronic devices such as power supplies, battery chargers, and motor drivers. E-fuses offer several advantages over traditional fuses, including faster response times, smaller size, and better accuracy.
Okay, so clearly E fuses are vastly better than normal fuses.
Yes, by far.
Yes.
So
And yeah,
yeah,
control.
that was just a quick. I just had to quickly find that out for myself as well.
That's fair enough. So, diagnostics, and that's where we come back to my VW van. They don't know what's going on there because they can't diagnose it because there's not enough information. Whereas Tesla will be able to do a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, one car
Yeah.
doesn't have to go in. They can just quickly log on to it. Yep, that's the problem. Can we do an over-the-air update? No, we can't. Okay, cool. Bring it in. We'll sort it. But
Yeah,
99.9% of the time, it should be an over-the-air update.
or you might not have to bring it in. They might be able to send out a Tesla engineer to you.
There's that as well. If it's
Yes.
a small enough problem and it doesn't need to actually go in, then yeah, I can't see why not.
Okay, now we're talking awesome stuff. Lead acid battery to lithium ion battery. Lead acid batteries, with all the thousands of things that cars need to run now, has become massive and expensive.
Yes. When's the
Like,
last time you had to buy a battery for your car?
not that long ago. My
Not
both
cheap,
my
is it?
both my previous cars I had to get new batteries. Yeah, as soon as you have stop start, it almost doubles in price for the lead acid battery. Like, I kid you not, almost doubles the price.
Wow.
Yeah, you go from about 100 quid for a battery to nearly 200 quid for a battery.
Oof, ouch.
And I've had to replace 3 of them probably in the last 4 years in different vehicles that we've had.
Luckily, I've not had to replace mine yet, and I've only got a year left on my lease. So if it can last another year, I'm good.
Well, that's part of the reason why I'm stopped buying used and start buying new and staying within warranties, which is the other reason why I'm getting rid of the van. Is just, yeah, there's less chance of stuff going wrong when the vehicle is new, and I'm just tired
100%.
of
Well,
dealing with issues
that's
and
the same reason
losing.
why I've stopped buying cars and I'm just leasing them now. Because if you lease it, you get a warranty with it. If your warranty runs
Yes,
out, give the car back, get another one. One of
exactly.
my colleagues that I work with, we're hiring through the same place or leasing through the same place, should I say. Now, I've been lucky, touch wood, nothing's happened to my car in the last 2 years that I've had it. But I think he's had just over 6 grand's worth of work done in the 2 years that we've had the car. And none of it had to come out of his pocket because everything was under warranty.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
one thing, the door handle broke off, which they had to fix. Again, all covered under the warranty. Had another incident where I think he drove into a deer or something like that because it wasn't his fault, or I don't know how he managed that one, to be honest with you, but they paid for it. He didn't
Fair
have to.
enough. Fair
How he
enough.
managed it, I don't know, but I'll leave that for another day.
I mean, if he's managed to say that the deer ran out in last minute in front of him, maybe he had dash cam footage of it. Like he had no choice. He didn't have time to brake or anything.
No, you
And
wouldn't have
yeah,
that because it was in a country lane.
yeah.
I think it was gone
I've
8 o'clock at night in the winter, so it's pitch black dark. You can't see nothing.
I had that in the Focus that we had, and yeah, I had that. I was doing about 40 miles per hour, busy accelerating, and next moment just in front of me. It's like just came out the
Yeesh.
side, hit the front. He tried to run all the way across. He managed. He came from the left and he managed to hit the front right of the vehicle. That's how quick the little bastard was.
It wasn't quick enough, though, was he?
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, little bastard. So lithium ion batteries as the main battery, you can clearly see it's much smaller. And they say it's 87% lighter and it lasts as long as the vehicle lasts basically. So much better. And when they move to 48 volts, even better. Reduced cost of Model 3 and Y center display. So to me this is not really such a big thing. Okay, fair enough. The power consumption is awesome. You want to reduce your power consumption. The weight really that it's a difference. It's not a big difference. You know, we're talking about grams here. I get in the overall if you save 200 grams on all your major components all throughout the car, you save maybe 10, 20, 30 kilos in the end, and it adds up. But I don't know if this deserved a slide, to be quite honest, just
To
for the
me,
center display.
no, I think anything that you can do to a car that will improve its performance is worth putting out there, even if it's something minute as this. I mean, take
Yeah,
Formula One cars, for example.
yeah, I
They have
suppose.
one layer of paint. They have mostly black because it weighs less than any other paint. It's madness, but it's still little things that make a massive difference at the end of the day.
Yeah. Bringing the cost down is awesome, which is probably part of why the weight's gone down because they were able to save weight. And the power consumption I like because that means you drain less power. So that's good.
You can have your heated seats on for longer.
Heated seats will use so much more power than this screen would.
Yeah, to be fair, I'm not really one for heated seats. No,
Oh no,
never
I
been a
love it.
fan.
I
Yeah,
love it. And the heated
right.
steering wheel. When I did the test drive yesterday, my gosh, that was lovely.
That one I
Like
might go, yeah, okay, cool. That I'll use. But a heated seat, come
considering
on, man.
considering
Unless
how
you've got like
often.
serious back pain or something, then the heated seat is almost pointless. Unless you are a female and you're wearing a short skirt and your legs are going to be freezing when you sit down. That's another thing altogether. My missus always complains about it. Bloody leather
Okay.
seats.
Okay. Alright, here we go to the 48 volts. I don't know what we can say that other people haven't mentioned already, how, especially if you watch Sandy Monroe, how people have been saying since the 80s that
Hmm.
48 volt is the best option, but no one has been willing to do the transition over until Tesla. And it's true there because look here, once we started getting to all our heavy electronics in vehicles and all the stuff like start stop and stuff, look how much amps we are pulling from our system. Freaking 200 amps of a 12-volt system. That is massive.
It's crazy.
That is huge. So if we switch to 48 volt, we're back down to what's that? 60, 70 amps?
Call it 75.
And this is on a fully electric vehicle. So I don't know if it's going to go much. I don't know if this trend is going to continue. Should we maybe have gone for a higher architecture? I don't know.
Um,
96 or something. I don't know.
Potentially, but that's going to cause a whole lot of other problems.
Too high voltage.
Hmm.
Losses down the transmission and all that.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one, to be honest.
No,
It's a
me neither.
no-brainer.
Go watch Sandy Monroe's videos on this. It is. Yeah, if you're not watching Sandy Monroe, you really, really should. It really explains so much of the manufacturing, of the design, the engineering, all of it, of all the vehicles being built, not just
Yeah,
Tesla. But
no, for
they
sure.
do
They
compare everything to Tesla because Tesla is setting the standards.
well, that is the golden standard, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually.
It's like yesterday I watched a video of Sandy tearing out or not tearing up, but they've started looking into the Toyota cat ran across the keyboard
Yes.
BZ4X.
or whatever
Yeah,
that thing's called.
and they're just like, yeah, okay, yeah. They're just like kind of nodding along, like, okay, this is typical of Toyota. Okay, whatever. They didn't really have anything good to say about it. They basically said, okay, this is Toyota's basically their first real electric vehicle that they've made, so their first attempt. That's basically the equivalent of Tesla's Roadster or Chevy's Bolt or something.
Yes, pretty much. I
It's their
wouldn't compare
first
it to
thing. There's
the
nothing
Roadster.
special. Yeah, there's nothing special about it. There's nothing unique. They haven't done any new technology or anything. It's just okay. And then you compare it to when they open up like a brand new Tesla or something, like when they opened up the Tesla Plaid, or when they do the updates on the Model Y and they open that up and look under and stuff, and they go, it's like it's mind blowing to them what Tesla does compared to these other people.
No, Tesla don't care about increasing the number of cup holders you have, or whatever else you might want to add a button to look at this stuff that they don't really see as important, which is 100% right. Why should it matter
Exactly.
how many cup holders you've got or whatever the case may be? Do something that's
Exactly.
going to actually affect the performance of the car or whatever the
First
case
of
may be.
all, everybody knows you should have two cup holders between the driver and the passenger, or if you're on that side, that side, and each door should have a cup holder. Anything less than that, then you're being a cheap little bastard. Pardon the language. And more than that, you don't need more than that.
No, you need two at the front and two at the back. That's it.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, Cybertruck's going to be awesome. We all know it. Can't wait for it. It's going to run on 48 volts. You can see there's not a lot of red boxes in there. You got your door controllers. You got something there by the back seats. Not sure what that is. Maybe that's to do with charging. You got a screen for the back seats. You got a screen for front seat. You got your dash. You got your. I'm assuming this is your main fuse box. Stuff that has to be where they have to be. I don't know what that is down there. And then you have your tire sensors, which obviously has to be in the tire. So I don't think you can really go much lower than this. I don't know what that is up there. And then you have, I'm guessing these are sensors or something, sensor controllers or something.
Imagine that. Could that be parking sensors?
No, because Tesla doesn't use parking sensors. But it's like we don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. We don't know what that is. That is probably to do with your battery or high voltage. That is just something. I'm guessing the blue cable is a big harness or network or something.
Yeah, no, I
And
reckon that box at the back, that's going to be something to actually control the rear of the car.
who knows? Maybe it's
Like to,
controls
to
for
get your cab to slide out or whatever the case may be. I think
whatever
that's
it
where
may be.
that,
Yeah,
that's where that will come in. There's other
but
two at
that
the back.
is as far as non-technical people like us can, or non-mechanical people like us can figure out. Most of these make sense, and they have to be in set locations. I don't think you can reduce much more than this. My gosh, that is so little compared to what you saw in the Model S, the
Third of the
original
amount
one.
almost. Yeah, look at that. That gives you a good example.
Yes. Well, look at all
That
those
is
little red dots. That's
insane.
crazy.
Cybertruck's almost twice the size of it, but yet it's got half the.
So that's awesome. And that's it for that. Anything you want to add?
No, I think I'm good there.
Yeah,
I've said what I wanted to say as we've been going through.
fair enough. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Thanks for watching. See you soon.